Hello, my friend. How are you? Hope you're okay. First comment on the stream. You usually are first, aren't you, to be fair? Hope you're doing all right, what? Nice to see you again, bud. Funny day again yesterday. It's really tough lately. I think I ended up about, with fees, about $60 down per account, so just under $300, I think. So it wasn't a terrible day as far as bad days go. The second trade I did all right. The first one, it was questionable, I think, when I had a look back on it. So see how we get on today. So, Indy, how are you? James? Sorry, Chris. Afternoon, folks. How you doing? Dr. Linney, how are you? So, market is due to open. It is FOMC day. As we know, sometimes it can make a difference in the day, other times not really. I've had some really good days. I've had some of my best days on FOMC day. So, you just don't know, really. Sometimes it can do a lot of sideways stuff and a lot of chop. But so far, we've had some sort of fluid movement. Whether we're going to get a leg down, it's sort of a leg down and a sort of a couple of legs. And usually we get another leg down, but we have, whether we're in a range there or not, it's hard to say at the moment because we've bounced quite a few times along that line. So whether we do pull back into it or not, or whether, I don't know really, it's hard to say. But the trouble is, with a lot less volume in it, takes a bit of time sometimes to get more volume to paint a picture of what sort of day we're sort of having. Do you know what I mean? Trading stays hard. Yeah, it does. I was chatting with a couple of people on the Facebook and they were saying, it's tough at the moment. Conditions are really hard. People are getting battered around. I think you just have to really hold back and just wait for those trades that just jump out at you. Because the trouble is, when it's slow like this, it does pick at your patience a little bit, and it can be sometimes you can buckle under the pressure a bit and the frustration, can't you? And take something a little bit too stupid. And I'm guilty of that myself. Speedy, how are you, mate? Hope you're okay. So yeah, it's not brilliant at the moment. It was somebody mentioned last night. It may carry on like this till the 9th of September. I mean, being the UK, I don't know how your holidays work over there. I mean, throughout the summer months over in the UK, we just take whatever we want or whatever we need. I don't know whether you guys have sort of set holidays, but I know people talk about, obviously we've heard about people talk about spring break and all that sort of stuff. I don't know whether you have, as sort of a cultural type set holidays. So, but yeah, he seemed to mention the 9th of September, whether that's, I don't know, where kids go back to school, parents go back to, I don't know. But it would be nice to get some volume back here. I'm going to say, I don't remember it being like this last year. I can't remember a time when it's been this tough. So I can't put my finger on it. Is it just down to holidays? Maybe it is. Maybe things are different this year. Maybe, because the last sort of few years we've had COVID, maybe people haven't gone away as much, and maybe now, obviously this summer, COVID seems to have, not vanished, but it's certainly keeping a low profile, fortunately. So maybe, I don't know. Oh, crikey, why'd you have to do these difficult names? Most viral video. Oh, okay, that's probably using its sound. Most viral videos. There we go. 85.5 break. Looks like a long entry. Yeah, I tend to not trade just as soon as the market opens. It's been open about 20 seconds now, so I'm not sure what's going on here. So, I mean, we've touched here. So I don't know whether we're going to have a break and a new low or whether we're going to end up having a range day. That's the trouble, really, with lack of volume. It's hard to figure out exactly what's going on. But I thought we may sort of, if it is a range, fade the range. But I can't see anything that would attract me enough to get in there, really, because we popped out and we came back in. So I didn't know whether we may continue down. But the way that's pushed in, I would say maybe we may be looking at that, possibly. It's hard to say at the moment. Because it's touched here. So it's sort of working in this. When we had that push down and a break and a new low, We had a sort of a couple of legs up, and then we seemed to sort of daisy chain down a bit, so I didn't know whether we may maybe break these lows. We're getting close to yesterday's low, see, so I don't know whether this is just generally a bigger range. So it's hard to say at the moment. So yeah, maybe it is something like this, I don't know. Really, you need a little bit of volume sometimes to paint a bigger picture. But we seem to have a leg, maybe another leg. So really, you've got the sort of overnight lows there. So that seems to be playing a part. So whether somewhere around about there. So whether that's going to play a part or not, I don't know. We'll see anyway. Chris, I was on the Facebook page this morning and was stunned that Daniel learned this in 18 months and never even read Mac's manual. Yeah, quite a few people didn't read Mac's manual. See, I don't know, some people can take it to like a duck to water. I don't know, I suppose it's a lot. See, I know a lot of the times where I've failed, it's because I've been pure gambling, just been trying to get lucky. And then just trading on a frustration. So if you can get round that, then maybe you're picking up quicker. But he may have learnt it, but obviously he's going to continue to improve and progress. But some people, some people just, I suppose, just take to it. I suppose if you're quite focused, if you're quite a focused person and you're quite strong-willed, how would I describe myself? Sometimes I just, what's the best way to describe me? I suppose I am ruled a little bit by my emotions, if I'm honest. I get frustrated, and a lot of the times I've just chucked money at it, just out of pure frustration. I think that's probably a lot of my problem. But I'm very slowly learning to wait. I mean, the amount of trades I take now compared to the trades I took a year and a half ago, maybe, is much smaller. So I'm sort of learning I've got to wait. But because I've only been trading 2 years, it is still early. And I'm still learning every day. I sit on these charts and trade and learn and trade and make mistakes and learn. And it is a long process. But I'm kind of used to the fact now that it's not easy. And let's face it, you can't earn money like this. In something that takes you 5 minutes to learn it. It doesn't. It's one of these type of jobs where I'm assuming you just keep getting better and better with time and experience. It's like anything. If you've been driving years on the roads, you're going to be way more experienced than maybe a new driver who's been on the road for 12 months. You just keep fine-tuning things, don't you? The more you do it, the more it becomes natural. You see pictures and setups and things quicker. The more times you've been trapped, you learn. The more times you're constantly building up that picture in your brain of, when things look like they're moving or when setups are there, and it does take time. I've been in this 2 years. I think I'm probably slower than most, actually, because I am ruled by emotions. So it's been a real. I've found it really tough because so many times I sat on this chart and just thrown 2 evaluations at it and just blown them in a matter of 30 minutes. And I've done that a couple of dozen times at least. So I've got sort of my weak points and I'm my biggest critic. I really sort of get so angry and frustrate myself from time to time. But I've just had to learn, really, you have to try and forgive yourself and move on. Otherwise, you're going to be forever battling with your emotions. But yeah, there are times where I've sat in my bed with my hands in my head and thinking, what am I doing? What have I done? The money I've thrown at it, do I give up? I've questioned whether I should give up, whether it's something I'm never going to get. But if I think genuinely to how I used to trade, I am progressing. Maybe not at the speed that I would have liked, but I am progressing. And I've always been a person, if I've really wanted to do something, very few things will stop me. And it may take me a long time. It may take me another 2 or 3 years before I'm earning consistent money, but it's just something I'm not prepared to give up because I love the fact that I don't have to go out and work for someone else. I don't have to go out at, you know, -10 on a winter, freezing cold morning and freeze my ass off working for someone who doesn't give a shit about me. You know, I love the fact that I can, you know, I have more time for me and me sort of family. Sorry, I'm rambling on a bit. What have I missed? Quite a bit. Wow, good on you, Daniel. Yeah, I think Daniel's a pretty good with trading. I was talking to a friend of his, a guy I know as well, another trader I know, talk to, and he does say he's able to filter out all the crap basically. But some people are just very positive. You know, if some people, I don't know. For me, it's those people that they can just switch something on and they get motivation to do something. And for me, I've always been a trier, but I've failed a lot on the way, you know. So, oh well. Where is it? Hey, Alex, how you doing? Sam, how you doing, bud? Thomas Payne, how are you? Afternoon to you, buddy. Chris James, you are well above average for just 2 years. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm average. I don't know. I do beat myself up a lot though. And I've had to really try and just let go. Because it is horrible, isn't it? When things go bad, it just messes with your head. If I get a nice winning trade, a couple of winning trades, I'm sort of high as a kite, I am. But then when I get a couple, I can feel it starting to eat away at me. So I've had to learn to just say to myself, look, this is how it is. It's not easy. You can't earn, you know, 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, or whatever you want. You can't earn that like that easy. Money doesn't grow on trees. It doesn't come that easy. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. And I've had to really sort of learn to sort of forgive myself a little bit. But luckily, no matter how disappointed and frustrated and angry I feel, once I get to that 2-3 days, it releases, and I seem to come back with, you know, sort of a renewed sense of positivity. I suppose I'm a bit lucky there. But I know people. I've had messages from other traders who've watched the stream who said they're thinking of giving up. They don't know what to do. They're throwing loads of money at it, and all you have to do is give them a bit of a sympathetic ear and say, look, it's not easy. It takes time. You know, you have to keep trying, but just try and improve. Try and put things in place, you know, that help you. And if you know, I've said to people, take a break, take a few days, take a long weekend, take a week off. But if you're that frustrated and you can't release it, you've got to have a break from it, because these charts can murder you emotionally. They can literally tear you down emotionally. So, just quickly, at the moment, it's going a bit sideways. I don't really want to get into a trade right in the middle of this. It seems to be, we've had this sort of, whether you call it a bottom, certainly an area where it's bounced, and we've touched once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and more or less 5. So we seem to be working sideways, so I'm not sure what the overall picture is. If I'm looking on heat map, on book map, there is liquidity levels down 80, and there's some at 85, so that 85 might just mean it's going to come back down here. But if we do manage to get a break, then I expect it to get down to these levels, but it's a bit too early to know what it's going to do yet. But it is inching up to the top by the looks of things. But there we go. What have I missed? I'm not sure if I... What have I missed? What have I missed? I still don't really get how you found JJJ to be negative. It might be... Look... But again, it's your stream. I don't want to upset anybody. But sometimes when people say certain things, look, I don't even know how to undo something. Let me have a look later, see if I can undo something, all right? Sometimes if I see people and they're saying things again and again, they're going on. And now people say to me, I don't think that channel's right, try this. Those are the ones I love. But there was a Ghanaian a week and a half ago. I forget his name now. But I took a trade and he said a comment like, if you think that's a good trade, you need a lot more time on the charts. Well, to me, that's a bit negative. It's obvious. That's why I'm here every day learning. I'm not here as an expert trader or to tell anyone how to trade or say, look, copy me. I'm here as a struggling trader trying to get somewhere in life. I stream because I like the fact that if people are watching me, I'm less likely to do something stupid. And it basically stopped me. I went from revenge trading constantly to almost completely stopping. Now, in the last 7 months, I've had 2 periods of revenge trading. So it stopped me. Now, if someone's watching you and I start doing something stupid on here, it makes me feel stupid. So sometimes, I don't know, it's the way people comment. Like the guy yesterday, he just went on and saying it's not fair, it's not fair. It was almost getting to a bickering argument, and I found it just annoying. So what do you do? What do you do? Do you just, block someone or what? I don't like doing it. I like people to have the opinion, but when the opinion starts to get just frustrating and negative, I can feel it niggling away at me, and I'd rather just not look at it. So, which is why I just click the block thing. I've not got anything personal at anybody, but when people just go on and on, it was literally, if I looked down the stream, there was like comment, gap, comment, gap, and it was just going on and on and on, and I found I wasn't concentrating. I felt like he should have been looking at what he's doing, and it's all right to have a little bit of a conversation now and again, but, most of the guys on here are trying to make it themselves. They're in exactly the same boat as me, and they'll have little comments on something. Someone said to me yesterday, that doesn't look right, or we seem to be going sideways, and I draw a chart, and that's great. But when people argue with you that it's not this or it's not that, maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. I'm not here to tell anybody what it is and what it isn't. I'm just here just to stream and try and learn and try and eventually make some money, just like 90%. But when I'm finding this comment after comment after comment, and it starts to get a bit bickery, I'd rather just not see it. But look, I'll tell you what. I've never said I want people's criticism or constructive criticism. I've never said, tell me what I'm doing, tell me this, that, and the other. Because a lot of you guys, I've had some people saying it's this and some people saying it's the complete opposite. Now, I don't know whether you guys have been doing it 5 minutes or 5 years, but you have to learn yourself. You have to experience yourself. Because if someone says, like I started a trade a couple of weeks ago and someone said, no, I don't go there, it's not so-and-so, and I got out the trade. And it worked beautifully. And then Mac marked it. A couple of other guys took it. So I get mixed feelings on whether something's good or whether it's not. And sometimes it just overtakes the fact that I need to be concentrating. But look, if I've blocked anybody, and I've only blocked about 4 people because sometimes they go on, just drop me a message after the video and just say, look, it wasn't intentional, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. I'll take him away. If someone says, no, I didn't mean it like that. I wasn't trying to be offensive or whatever, then that's fine. I've not got a problem with that. I'll put them back. But sometimes when there's comment after comment after comment, it fries your brain. And I've had a couple of people that have streamed that stopped that says that's why I stopped, because you get quite a lot of negativity and people almost telling you what to do. With this, you have to learn yourself and you have to experience it yourself. Do you know what I mean? I've listened, noticed JJJ would be very close to what Max said, but again, that's a lot of work. Yeah, I don't know. The way I see it, if people are here talking a lot, I'd say they're not concentrating on their trading. Now, people I know that make money are people like Daniel, and Daniel might make the odd comment, that's it, he'll have his head down focused. So a lot of the comments are people like me, struggling traders and learning. But if someone, there was another guy, is it DBZ or something, that was almost telling me what to do. This was a few months ago. He went, I told you not to do this, blah, 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 blah. And then I got a nasty message from him saying, you need to listen to someone who makes 6 figures every month. And then I saw him on someone else's stream, and he said, my plan is to make $200,000 this year. And I thought, well, I thought you were making 6 figures a month. So it's, you know, most of the people on here that are chit-chat and are learning like me, and they want to see what I'm doing and they want to compare it to theirs and see if they're doing the same as me, and just see, you know, if I make a mistake, they maybe learn from it. So the best trade is the one you're saying, yeah, it's okay. Someone's saying don't do like, you can't listen to people. You can take people's advice about a channel or something like that, and I welcome that. But when people are saying it wasn't this, it wasn't that, if they're really experienced enough to make a lot of money, then they're probably not going to be sat here watching me. Or maybe they are just for a bit of company, but they won't be commenting every 5 minutes. And most of you guys drop a little comment in, you know, once every 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, just a little thing, or I like that, or I'm in that trade, or what did you think about that? And that's just general chit chat. It got bickery yesterday. Another guy went, oh, yeah, you got an ego, blah, blah, blah. I haven't got an ego. I'm my own worst critic. I beat myself up something terrible. But when it starts to get into bickering conversation, I'd rather just block it. You know, it's nothing personal. And if they want to drop me, if anybody wants to drop a message after the video or any of the videos and just say, look, it's me, you know, you stopped me from commenting the other day. It wasn't intentional. I didn't mean nothing by it. I was just there. And that's fine. I got no problem with it. But yeah, yes, trader, just focus on my trades. Thank you, mate. I needed telling. In fact, I probably shouldn't even look at the comments, really, should I? If you change your thumbnails to say most profit on YouTube, you magically become profitable. Well, strangely enough, Brandt, have you noticed he's actually started making some money? Because he went for a spell of having 4 red days a week and a green day. And since he's put the most profitable trader, I still don't understand a lot of his trades, but what I will say is he's actually starting to build an account, which is ironic, isn't it, really? But I don't know. It's my fault probably for reading them. I just need to focus. But I like having I like having the crack with people and a bit of a laugh and a bit of banter and that, you know. Verified. Perhaps I should try that. I don't know what I know at the moment, and I know this for a fact because I've talked to lots of traders. Conditions are tough at the moment. There is just, I was looking at some of my charts a week ago, some of my older charts from 18 months ago. And I don't know, a couple of days in a row, we had a really nice trend down, and we had a second entry short there, and a second entry short there, and a lower high there. And there was like 4 trades within the space of 15-20 minutes. Another one of my charts, just after I started trading, we did this 3 times. We had a lower high, shot right down. And we get a nice channel like this, coming down like that. Really nice tight channel. We'd have 2 legs up, beautiful bearish bar right under the key entry point, and they shot down. We really don't seem to be getting that at the moment. So, I don't know. Perhaps it's part to do with holidays. I don't know. Whether it's unknown reason, I don't know. I believe these markets are run by algorithms, aren't they? I think designed to look for weak points or whatever. I don't fully understand it really, because I'm like you guys. I'm not worked for a company, you know, where all these things are clear and it's all understood. But I don't know whether algorithms have been updated to work smarter. I got no idea. I wish someone did have the answer. I daren't ask Matt because he might tell me something I don't want to hear. Like, this is how it normally is. Get used to it. And man up. That's why I've drawn this, mate. It might be, yeah, I just put that there just to see if it was going to continue up. I've got this here to sort of represent the top. So I've got both schools of thought that it is possibly going up, because we've touched here on this line, we've touched. So if we get a leg down there, maybe it'll push up. I don't know, but yeah, I'm a bit on the fence whether it is a channel or a range. See, they're the sort of comments that are useful. I learned so much here. Thank you, Robin. I'm hoping the things you've learned is what not to do. But the way I see this is we're all helping each other. And sometimes if they can be a little bit know-it-all or cocky or a bit sarcastic, it doesn't help me. It doesn't help any of us. You know, we're all here. We're not in competition with each other. We're all just trying to help each other because we know how bloody hard this is. You know, I get quite a few emails from people saying they're really finding it tough. You know, what do you do? How do you do? And I always give someone, I always give them a bit of a lift because you need it from time to time because these can massacre you know. So I always remember to say to people, it is tough. And this is how human beings react to these scenarios. So don't be hard on yourself. What you're doing, panicking and jumping in is a normal reaction. And then I just tell them to take a break if you need it. Just keep trying. You know, once you've been doing this every single day for a few years, I think it's like any job, isn't it? The more you do a certain job, the better you get at it. You know, if you're, a carpenter and you've been doing it 2 years, you're going to be finding your feet, aren't you? If you've been doing it 6 or 7 years, you're going to be pretty competent. So for me, it's just about just keep plugging away every day. Okay, so if we are coming off this bottom, there is a second entry long. I'm not interested in it because I think, as you say, it could be a range and this could be a fade, in which case that's triggered. And for me, that's quite likely going to come down and trigger that stop, I would say. It is a second entry long. You could sort of call it a higher low, but as I forget who it was now, as somebody mentioned, as well as we are going up here, it is possible that there's a range, but the way that's pushing up, so maybe. See, we've touched here. We've touched a bunch of times here. We've actually broke out. And we've pulled back in, but we've bounced a bit higher than here, and this time we bounced a bit higher. So I think it may be turning in into a channel, but it's not the nicest looking price action, is it, so far? So I'm gonna see. We touched here, touched here, touched here, touched there. So this could possibly be a bigger channel. In which case we may have one leg up, 2 legs up, and then a new low. But so that's a possibility. But what I think, and sometimes I'm guilty of putting these in what I think, is that's a channel down there with a bit of an overshoot, and maybe a couple of few legs down to a new low, and it's bounced a few times here, and maybe sort of reversed off here. So it is possible that there's a bigger channel there, and this just could be 1 leg, 2 legs, and then maybe further down. But I'm not clear at the moment, so we all know if you're not clear, best thing to do is just to sit tight. I find my trades come better when I've been sat here a while, when I've relaxed a bit. News at what? 5 minutes? Oh, yeah, it's medium impact news. It doesn't really... Hello, Sam. How you doing, mate? It doesn't really make a massive impact, the medium news, but I do have it on here anyway, just out of curiosity. But obviously that's the big one later, 7 o'clock. Well, 7 o'clock UK time. So yeah, maybe it is a channel with a couple of legs. I do watch a lot of the Penguin Trader, and if you don't watch him, I'd advise you to watch him because he's very good. And what he talks about a lot, and I look for now, he will look for, you know, something like that, a leg, whether it's, where's that, what's it tool? It's all right, I'm not trading at the moment because I don't know what the hell's going on. Path tool, he'll sort of have a leg like that, and then sort of another leg like that. Get used to this. So sort of 2 legs up, pull back, another 2 legs up, but basically 1 leg, and then we'll often see him doing this. He'll go, so it's come down to here, and it's made 1, 2 attempts to go lower, and then we end up going off for another leg. And I see him do that all the time, and I now, and a lot of the times, can sort of predict where he's going to take a trade, because often he'll have whether it's two separate legs or one big leg. But obviously for me, it may come down here actually and break this low. For me, that would be a leg, and this would be a leg. But I often see him doing this. So we've got a leg up. He'll say we've had 2 attempts to go lower, which to me is a 2-legged correction, and then it goes off. And what I try and do is catch it after this first push and wait for the higher low. But if you can get a good entry there, that's the type of trade he goes for 2 to 1, because a lot of the time you'll get a good strong push up there and it'll almost make that. And in one of Mac's videos, he does say enter on corrections, and we've had a leg up, and that's a 2-legged correction. So what it basically is a second entry. So it's 1, 2, it's a second entry, but obviously on a bigger picture. So I try and watch him a lot because I love the way he trades, and I love he puts his losses, and he probably works on maybe 80%, maybe 80, 85%, which isn't huge, but because he goes for a minimum of 1 to 1, or in lots of cases 1 to 2, he averages 6 points a day. And I think if you can average 6 points a day without taking runners, I think that is bang on. So if you don't watch the Penguin guy, watch him. In fact, I'm even tempted to pay for his subscription, because he's a very technical trader, in my opinion. And if you ask me, of all the streamers, he doesn't stream, unfortunately, but all the traders that I watch out there, I think he's the best. And I don't mean against people like Mac. I think he's, for me personally, Thomas Way's a lovely guy, but I don't think he's as good a trader as the Penguin guy personally. He averages 6 points a day, and he's sort of very calm, but he's very technical. He really seems to know his stuff. So I'm trying to model myself on him, because if I could get 6 points a day, man, I would be chuffed to bits. But yeah, he'll talk about this a lot. Leg down. We made 2 attempts to go higher. Not necessarily a second entry short, a smaller one, maybe a whole leg and another leg. But it's still, in a bigger picture, a second entry short. But he talks about that all the time. So I'm even tempted to pay for his subscription if I can get more value out of it. And it's worth paying for. Most FOMC mornings end up being choppy ranges. Yeah. Do you know, some of my best days have been on FOMC days. But I've heard some people saying they just don't trade them. But, I mean, if you've got a beautiful second entry now and you took your 2 points and I didn't take nothing else, for me that would be a good day. So I would say on an FOMC day, that particular day, I've had a good day. So it just depends. But yeah, sometimes FOMC days can just be a bit monotonous, but let's face it, we got monotonous days every bloody day at the moment. Just wondering whether I could bring that in a bit. I'm not a fan of these really shallow. No, it's a bit shallow for me, that is. Let's have a look. I think the safer option is to just, although we are going up, is just to just do it as a range for now. Let's get rid of these and these. Let's just do it as a range for now. I mean, it may well be working up, but who was it? Somebody mentioned it seems more like a range. I think you're right, actually. It does seem to be working higher, but trouble is, it'll do that a lot of times and just bounce straight off here then, so. Dear me. Okay, I'm not trading here in the middle, we're right in the middle anyway, so these are the times where I'll have a little look at the chat and see what happens. I try to trade like Penguin, but you end up seeing different legs in different places. Yeah, all I try and do now is I try and identify where he takes his trade. So if we get a leg and I say, and a few times I'll say that's the type of trade that the Penguin guy, And the more he does it, the more in other words, I'm starting to understand the areas he's getting in, and that's where I'll eventually start to move into. At the moment, I'm just watching from the sidelines and learning, because I think if you can find someone who's a good trader and has a good track record, I think it's good to sort of watch them and learn from them. And then there's probably a lot of great traders out there, but unfortunately not many post their videos and post, an analysis. But I like the fact that he posts his losses as well. He's just plain simple. He tells you as it is. And I like that. So I've always been like that. If I want to learn something, I'll always find somebody that I believe is good at it. And I'll just pick the brains and watch them and learn from them. Looks like horizontal range to me. Yes, trader. Yeah, I think you're right, bud. I just hope it doesn't last all day. Problem is, people draw that shallow uptrend, ignore the range. I know what you're saying, mate. What I tend to do, though, I try and, if it seems like it's going up, I'll put both in, or I think it's important to look at both sides. That, yeah, it could be range and it might bounce here, but if it continues to go up, it may eventually move out. So I tend to, I think it's good to have options, isn't it? And to have that it may be this and it may be that. It could be both, but now this is coming down. It's not holding this line anyway, so which is why I've changed it over to there, because I think the bigger picture for me now is that it's a range. But where the bottom is, it's holding a lot here, so it'd be interesting to see where that holds or whether it does come down. Trouble is, with some of these ranges, every time they bounce, they hit a different place, which makes them so hard to predict. NQ is active. I've been looking at the NQ a bit. Just got sliced up trying to replicate it. And yeah, Chris, it does take time, mate. That's why I... in fact, what I'm going to do, actually, is... excuse me a sec. I've just got a parcel coming. I'll be... just 1 minute. Sorry about that. What I was saying is, if I see these types of trades that he takes, I'm just going to put a little mark on my chart, a little line. So when I do look at his chart later, the more I get those right, the more I'm starting to understand where he takes his trades. The only little bit that's scary is sometimes he'll wait for a move to move and jump in, so sometimes his risks are a little bigger. That's the only scary bit. But he does say, and I've heard him say, he's sometimes seen a trade go to within 1 tick and it's come back and reversed and he'll leave it. So I like that. I like people who make their plans and stick to them. So what's going on here? Sorry, I missed a comment there. Douglas Hill, how you doing, bud? Looked at the ES 1,000, 1,500 and 2,000 tick chart. Don't see much of a difference. It's funny enough, I was looking at those earlier, actually. Obviously, the 500 tick chart is way more bars on, but yeah, it's sort of, I didn't find it helped me. I have got the 10,000 tick chart on just a separate little, just to the left of me head, just as, just sometimes if you can see a bigger picture, it might help you see things a bit clearer. But I don't think it's going to do any harm. I used to have it, but then I stopped for some reason. But I know when I was trading currency, and I did like a 6-month mentorship under Andrew Lockwood, who was a British currency trader who worked for big city banks and the London Stock Exchange during the 80s, worked various banks all over the world, in the Far East and that. And when he trades with two charts. I think it was the hourly and the 4-hourly. The 4-hourly he called his anchor chart. And when he took a trade on the hourly, he would confirm it, that the bigger picture was in the direction and all that. So I don't think it does any harm. Yeah, you just clearly can't trade these. It's a trap city, innit? All news in 20 minutes, might just be waiting for that. Yeah, I don't know what news it is, mate, but I know the medium impact news don't usually do anything. That was at sort of 3 o'clock UK time, which was here, and you wouldn't even know there was any type of news there. So I don't tend to concern myself too much with the medium impact. There's a couple of people have said that. They don't even have it on their charts. I think Mac does, but I can't remember whether it was Mac said they don't tend to play a part so much. I don't know. I know we had some high impact news yesterday, but nothing really happened, I don't think. FOMC, that's a different ball game, isn't it? And the CPI data that comes out, that tends to move things. And you can tell with the big news, because if you're looking at Bookmap, literally all trades disappear. On your comments on Penguin are spot on. He's good, but he trades almost look too perfect. No, I don't know. His trades are understandable, though. A lot of the times, I don't know. The more I look at him, the more I sort of understand what he's on about. So I don't know. I mean, it helps for me because he does show his losses, and he does have losses. He rarely goes for 3 or 4 days without having a loss. But I don't know. There's something about him I like. It's that type of style I like. It's tough sometimes trying to get 1.5 points, 2 points. And it is frustrating when the market just goes. I mean, I took a trade yesterday. It was a higher low, and it just went up 20 odd points in the end. So the good trades do move, but I don't want to just jump in myself. I'd rather follow someone who's had some experience and sort of learnt the hard way and use their experience. What did you just say there? It's all inventories in 20, so let's trade. Thomas Payne My Indicator says 1500 news was high impact. I don't know if you've got this same thing on here, mate. Let's have a look. Where's my indicators? There we go. What they're doing up there. This is the one I've got, the economic news, the one that Mac has on his chart. And it's just got medium. New home sales. I don't know. At 3 o'clock it was here anyway, 3 o'clock UK time, nothing. There was no, you wouldn't have even guessed there would have been anything, wouldn't you, sir? I don't know. It doesn't do you any harm just to stay out, does it? Just hope to God it's not going to do this all day. I can't see it. We're 4 hours away from the FOMC. I also study Penguin. Yeah, I think he's good. I like him. And I love the fact that even with losses and trading about 80%, he still manages to pull 6 points out of the market. He never goes for less than 1-to-1. 1-to-1 for me is the benchmark that I would like to work from. Because the good thing about that is if you lose a trade, you win it back, you're more or less where you were, taking away a little bit of commission. But I do love the fact that when we have these, I don't know, I'm not trading at the moment. I forget what the trade he did, but was it this one? I can't remember. That's the type of thing you would hear him talk about. He'd say we'd have a leg up, made 2 attempts to go lower. So that's a 2-legged correction, and then another leg up, which we had. Now, where would he have got there? I'm guessing he'd have probably gone above that. So if you look at that, there's a failure there, but oh God, I've got someone knocking at my door again. I'm guessing he'd go there. Let me just see if they're knocking or posting. Excuse me a second, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, he'd say we got a leg up. We made 2 attempts to go low. You can clearly see those 2 attempts to go low, and it pushed up again. So whether he would take that, I'm guessing he would probably take that trade. So maybe that bar there over the EMA, and he would probably go 1-to-2, something like that. So let's say he comes out there. What's that risk there? So puts his stop in there and goes to there. So yeah, it's a 2.5 point risk. 5 points. All right, I've just run up downstairs again. Got someone knocking at the door. So I'm guessing he would probably take his trade once it closed above there. I'm guessing somewhere around about there. And I'm guessing because we've had this leg up, you'd expect similar leg up there. Now, his stop will have been here, so even if it didn't hit it in one go, it'd come back and push up again. So that's the type of trade that he takes. Now, 5 points, 1 trade. You're done for the day, technically, if you want to be, but it's clear to me we have a leg, 2 legs of correction, or that's what I call them, or as he says, we made 2 attempts to go lower, and we failed and pushed up. And look at that, we got leg, 2-leg correction and a leg, and we see that all the time. But for me, that's the picture I'm trying to get in my head when we have a nice leg up and I see these separate legs. But, look at that. So that's the type of thing he trades. So every time I see those, I try and sort of remember them. So we had a leg down there. We made 1 attempt to go higher, really, didn't we? So that was, the context is not right here at the moment. But I mean, if you can understand where he takes these trades, and you can see that's the type of trade he'd take. You know, you jump in there, you get that one trade like that yesterday. That was quite clear to me. But at the moment, I'm not taking those trades. I'm just trying to earmark them. But yeah, imagine that, taking one trade, getting 5 points and being done for the day. I prefer 2 points. I like 2 points as well. If you look at my thing here, I usually have it for 2 points and a tick, which it is. And the reason I do is because I use a limit order. And if I take this trade, like Max says, or most traders will put it one tick above, I don't. I hold it there. And as soon as it triggers above that bar, I drop it. So I save myself a tick anyway. That's why I go for 9 ticks. And the thing I like about that one tick is it pays for me commissions. And not only that, sometimes, and I've done it many times before, you hover over there with a buy order, and as you drop it, the market ticks up, it kicks it out. So straight away, you've got to be right-clicking, finding it again and bringing it down. And most of the time, if you've been kicked out once, you'll grab a limit order. Well, I start with a limit order, and for me, I think it works better, and I get less problems with the trade copiers. I get very little problems with Replicanto, and as far as I'm concerned, Replicanto is far superior. You guys have been seeing me use Replicanto now for about 2-3 months, and I've had one problem, and I'll tell you exactly when it was. I had an order left, and I remember Nick on the stream rang me. I've just had my phone buzz, and I saw Nick. Fortunately, I just noticed it. But that's the only one problem I've had. But since I've started using limit orders, I get no problems with it at all. I got 5 PA accounts. And as soon as I drop a limit order in, I don't get a problem. Because sometimes if you drop a limit order, it'll just stay there until it gets picked up. A buy order, if it hits it, it may, and it moves quick, it may trigger some of them, but not others. So it just works for me. But yeah, 2 points I like as well, because at the moment, roughly speaking, your risk could be 2.25 points there. But as we know, the ATR has been quite low lately, isn't it? It's been around 1.5 or maybe a bit lower. But yeah, but the good trades, the really good trades, there was a trade I took yesterday, which a lot more people took, and I think it was a good trade there. That one there, we sort of pushed up and had a higher low. You could clearly work in, and then we had that bearish bar there, which was a second entry short. There may have been some shorts taken this, which triggered and then pushed up. So I took that trade, and I thought that was a good setup. And it looked like a leg, a bit of sideways, and I expected another leg, which was there. But obviously, little did we know, it carried on. But the good trades, you'll always make your 2 points out of. If you put your order in there, there's your 2 points there. So you're out, even you're out in that first push. Or even if you take 2.25, which I do, depending on where you take it, you're out. So, trading is just like any job. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The more you sit here day after day and see these, the more you can't help but get better at it. It's part of the job. It comes with the territory. Anything that you do repetitively, you'll naturally get better at it. Your brain will just get better at spotting things, and as you get better, they say with skill comes confidence. I remember when I trained as a bricklayer years and years ago, I remember coming out of college and going onto a site, and I shit myself. I messed up God knows how many walls, and I felt the need when I went to other jobs, until my confidence was there, I felt the need that I had to tell people, I haven't been in it that long, so don't expect too much, just in case they looked at me and thought I was crap. But once my skill levels had got to a certain level, my confidence said, yeah, I can build a house or I can build a garage. It's no problem. Then I didn't feel the need I had to tell people, and that just comes with time. So with skill comes confidence and belief. So it's just doing nothing at the moment, is it? Just off the topic, anyone tried Forex Fury? I don't even know what that is, Sam. Forex Fury, what is it? A YouTube thing, is it? What? I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Max says these when it does range for a while, it does it. Does he say it does it for an hour or something? I don't know. see, I think it was the last FOMC day. I think I finished early and came back half an hour after it happened. And sometimes then you get some nice movement then. So obviously with, a lot of institutional guys taking their holidays, the volume's going to be low as well, isn't it? Delta grinding up all morning. Don't even know what Delta is, mate. I think it's something to do with, don't you have it in order flow? I know a buddy of mine, Marlon, I haven't spoke to for a while actually. I must message him. I think he used it for a while. See, if I look on the heat map on Bookmap, there's not much up here. But there is quite a bit of liquidity around about 85, which is around this bottom section. So that's telling me it's probably going to just continue with that, I think. Yeah. Mine is going to try it with an AI robot forex trading. Well, if you think about it, isn't the ES run by algorithms? It's exactly the same thing, isn't it? I did watch a video once on bots. Some of them make money. They just sort of run, I think they take multiple trades, and they lots of trades, little trades with patterns or something, but I don't quite know how it works. But I think a lot of trading now is automated, isn't it? Perhaps that's the way it'll go for the future. I don't know, perhaps they won't have traders in the future. It'll all be done automatically. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Don't forget, guys, that 80% off finishes on Monday, so this is your last week. As you know, I've got a new code, UKFT and 80, because it's 80% off, and that obviously the 80 will just change. But if you've used that, and I had some yesterday, it is much appreciated. It helps me trade full-time. This covers my costs, trading costs, so it is appreciated if you use this. But apparently I was quite lucky to get this personalised one. I've had a couple of messages from other traders and other streamers saying, how the hell did you manage to get that? But yeah, it finishes on Monday, I believe, which is the last day of the month. And I will guess then we're going to go on for a period of probably 50% resets for maybe a week or two. And then I wouldn't be surprised if you went back to the 80. I don't think there's another US holiday for a while. They tend to do the 90% on the US holidays. Labor Day is next September, so you're a month and a week away there. So I would guess that's probably when you may get the 90% off. Okay, that came down. Hit some of that 85 liquidity, I think. Yeah, it picked up some of it, I think. Let's have a look. No, not much of it. I don't think it quite went low enough. I used your code last night. Thank you, Ryan, mate. I appreciate it. I take it all worked, the new code, did it? But yeah, I think was it Bart? Bart flies on the stream sometimes. Right there, Bart Fly messaged me and said, how do you manage to get that? I just kept pestering him. Fortunately, I got through to a nice guy called Cameron. And he went, yeah, I can do that for you. It just makes it easy. I know a couple of people have messaged me. I don't know, maybe half a dozen messages over the last few months. What's your code? What's your code? I've forgotten what it is. I don't even know it myself. But UK futures trader and the 80% off's a lot easier to remember. So, but I appreciate that, Ryan. Thank you, mate. I think on a 50,000 one, I think I get about $5, I think. So it all pays off. It all helps. But I only do it because it doesn't cost you guys. If it costs you guys more, I wouldn't do it. But the Replicanto one's good as well. There's 20% off that. So not only is it better than the Apex one, it's also 20% cheaper now. So so the liquidity I can see up there is at 92, which is at the top, and the liquidity I can see at the bottom is around about 84, which is here. There is some further down here at yesterday's lows, but the liquidity area is at the top of the bottom of this, which is telling me it's quite possibly going to continue up or down. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 points from top to bottom, so you haven't got much room for manoeuvre. But if we can get up to the 92 and maybe push above it and close below it, maybe if it's a second entry or something like that. That one didn't look too bad. It looked like a couple of legs up, leg. But as we've bounced twice, if we can get up here again, maybe worth a trade. I don't know whether to maybe reduce mine to a point or 6 ticks. At the moment, the last couple of days, I think I've done 6 ticks. Usual code for replicate. So thanks for that. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it, mate. It's a good deal, that 20% off. I think it's normally $150, isn't it? So you can get it for $120, which is $30 cheaper than Apex. Now, don't get me wrong. If I thought the Apex was a good one, I continue to use it. Now, as far as prop firms, as far as I'm concerned, Apex can't be touched. They're bang on. I like the way they listen to the customers, so I absolutely endorse Apex. But for me, it's just not reliable enough, and I don't. It's not supported, as we know, but it's not updated. Whereas Replicanto, there is updates. I haven't had one for a month and a half, but I did have 2 updates within the space of 2 weeks, a month and a half ago. But as you see me use it. If I do my buy order, set a buy order there, you can clearly see my 5 PA accounts there, and you never see a problem. Maybe
order cancelled.
Since I've had it, I've had 2 little hiccups. One didn't trigger. Maybe just once, actually. One didn't trigger, and that's when Nick phoned me and went, "You've still got one." I noticed it, which is why I have those there now. So after a trade, I just check that they're both empty. But you see me use it every day, and I just don't have a problem with it. And trading's stressful enough as it is without worrying about that, especially if you're trading lots of accounts. I have my range high tighter. Your range high. It's touching twice there, but I could pull it down to there. Or I could pull it down to there. It's hard to say, really. The trouble is, what I'll say is, doing it like that, if you get a little push above there and it sits under there, you may think top of the range, let's go short. But what it may do is go higher and sit at the same level, which is why I tend to like having it quite high. Because what I don't want to do is take a short here when it may come up to these highs. Because it's hit it once, it's hit it twice. If it hits it again above here and sits below that bar with the red. So sometimes if you have it, and I've done it myself, I've had it here, and it's a couple of ticks above and gone bearish, and I've gone short, and it's triggered me and pushed up and give me a short at the same height. So I tend to have it a bit higher. Now whether you'll have it there or not, but I tend to like that at the moment. And the reason I like that is because it's touched it twice there, and it's just more or less in the middle of there. I mean, you could put it there. That wouldn't be terrible. But I mean, it's touched 3 times there, but I see what you mean. You know, we touch once, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It touches a lot of the times there, but it just concerns me that I get a little trigger above and come down, so it's probably best to keep it here, maybe. As you guys know anyway, it's not one of my strong points picking tops and bottoms, so I tend to avoid them anyway. So I probably prefer that as high as I could. So see, there's liquidity at 92 and a quarter, which is about there. 92 and a quarter, about there. So if it hits that, it may pick up those sell orders and then drop down, in which case it may interest me. That's where it's getting most touches there. I know what you're saying, yeah. The trouble is, what's it about there? The trouble is, as I mentioned, if it just pops out a bit and comes down here, as I know that's liquidity, it may trigger me trade and stop me out. Do you know what I mean? So I tend to like it a little bit higher, because if I'm, as I say, I'm not very confident in taking highs. So if I'm going to take a high, I'd rather it be as high as I can up to this level, and even better. It'd be nice if it can hit this liquidity level. That's, yeah, where I know there's sell orders. So it may be a case of, okay, if it hits this, I'm going to drop a trade in. So if it hits this and drops and sits just below there, then that'll be interest me. If you know, if the top of the trade's there and it sits down here, it might catch me out. So it's just a personal thing. The way I tend to do it, I tend to try and have it as high as I can without it looking ridiculous. It just gives me that confidence. If I'm going to take a short here, I want it to be right up here, the same sort of height as these two. Well, difficult. Yeah, they are. Some people, see, I remember one of the videos I watched of Max, and he says he loves range days, just shorts the tops and buys the bottoms, but it's not always that simple. Now, if we hit it once, twice, three times in exactly the right place, and it's nice and bearish, and maybe we've had a second entry short and the context looks okay, I will take them. But I'm cautious of them because I'm not, you know, I suppose we all have our strong points, don't we? And it's one of my, I would say, weaker points, picking tops and bottoms. And I suppose it comes with time. The more time you sit here day after day, you get used to it, you get better at it. The more you see it, the more eventually you'll start to do it, I suppose. Yes, trader 4592 is my range high. I only use high and low. High and low of bar now. Ignore closes for most part. So you're saying yours is... Oh, exactly where that is. Yeah. Exactly where that, well, funny, that's where the liquidity is. So maybe if it hits that, it'll turn down. But yeah, in some cases, I think I had it there originally, didn't I? Where's it hitting twice? It's touching there and touching there. So I tend to like it where the bars close below, and there it's only really, I mean, you probably can't even, you don't even really need to include that, because with that's really just a break and a new low, isn't it? But the trouble is, that's what I mean. Trading's such a lot of grey area, isn't it? Excuse the grey area, excuse the pun. But I just try to think where it'll give me the most confidence to take a short. So probably there, maybe. But I know this liquidity is here, so if it does hit that and then comes bearish, that would give me the confidence to take the trade. So if it hits that area and then drops and then sits below that line, then that will say, okay, we've hit some sell orders there. And if you're going to short this market, that's probably where you're going to do it, right at these highs. So we'll see. And obviously it depends how far it is from the EMA then, whether I go for 2 points or quite likely 6 ticks. I'm even partial to a point at the moment, because there's not a lot of movement in here. If there's an half decent trade, you could probably get a point out of it, but I don't know whether I'd want to risk more than the point at the moment. It obviously depends, but my low is 45.86 and a quarter. 45. Yeah, I put it down to here, but 45.86 and a quarter. 45.86 quarter. Oh, there. Yeah, see, it's broken below there quite a lot of the time for me. That was too tight for me. I'd say like that minimum. The only reason I'm putting that there is because I know it's been down there before, and as I mentioned, the reason I put it there is because if I'm going to take a long, I want it to be as low as it can, and vice versa with a short. But I think you could probably say, how many times is it? That's not too bad, because we've touched once there, twice, and two bodies 3-4 times, and once more. If you put it any higher, in fact, that's probably where I think it's safe to do so. And we've broken out once. But the trouble is, if I'm going to take a long, I'd rather it come right down the bottom here. Trouble is, if you shave off a point at the top and a point at the bottom, we've got 246. 246. We've got about 8 points maximum there. If you shave off a bit at the top and a bit at the bottom, it probably gives you about 5.5 points, which is a lot less room for manoeuvre. But this liquidity, these buy orders, see, there's 500 odd orders at 45.84 and 3/4. 40. What was it? 45.84 and 3/4, which is there. There's a load of buy orders there, so actually, and a touch below. So if you buy the buy orders, whether, I don't know. To me, I mean, which short that I don't know. Buy orders, I'm saying, I would say was probably, if it gets down to here, I'm going to buy it. But that's a buy order there, so that might give a little bit more light as to where the bottom might be. So what traders might be saying, if it gets down there, I'm going to buy. So maybe in that case, in fact, I probably think that's as high as I'd push it. So let's have a look. So we've touched once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, which I don't think's that bad. And we haven't had a close out of this, so I kind of like that. You could probably forget that, because you could say it's just a bit sideways before we moved into the range there. But I like the fact that if it hits that area and turns around and sits bullish, that might be where traders, think about going long. What works for you, like you said before, stick to your own intuition. Yeah, that's the thing about trading. It's a lot of your own feel, isn't it? But sorry, excuse me a sec. Sorry, wife's home from work. But see these few bars moving down here, I kind of don't like that. But if it drops and hits this and pushes up quickly, then that might be an indicator. But I would much prefer that type of trade, leg up, break, leg up. Whereas there seems to be a leg and a leg down, but it's almost like a little channel. And that makes me nervous going long into a little channel. Can't even get under 85.50 yet. Yeah, be interested to see what happens here. If it hits that, if it hits that liquidity level and it quickly shoots up, then maybe. But this looks like a little channel, and I hate trading into these. That would be better. Leg up, a little bit of sideways, a leg up, maybe a little channel and a break new high. So I think it's probably a good idea maybe to put that there. Oh, it's so hard to say, really. It could be a little bit of a break. It probably is a little bit in a new low. So there's still a lot of those orders there.
Order submitted.
I'm not a fan of it.
Order cancelled.
Just don't like the way it's done that. It's picked up some of it, but not enough of it. It hasn't pushed through it. It's just hit it. So I'd prefer it to come down a little bit more. Oh, maybe it is. Let's have a look. I just don't like the way we got a bit of a channel here. So let's see what happens if it hits that. It's bouncing off it. This might do it. Needs to push a bit lower, even to 84 to this bottom. That would pick it up. But I just don't like the way it's almost looking like a bit of a channel, because it is possible we've got a leg down, some sideways and another leg down. It's possible. Okay, so that's pushed through that liquidity now. So let's see what happens here, just out of interest. I just don't like going long into all that. Okay, well, there's some more down here. That's been eaten up now. There is some more there. You'll look for a short under 45.83. Yeah, it is possible we could have maybe a leg from here down. Probably feel better sort of from there, which may take us down to around about 74. But really, you want to push below here and bounce, really. See, that's interesting. So let's put that back down to where I had it there. What does that look like? That's one tick. So we touch, touch, touch. And that's reversed on it. So if the bar's bullish, it may push up. I'm not getting involved because we've got this, these slowly sweeping down. So it's hard to say. But if it does bounce off here and push back in, I may keep it there. But yeah, you got to let it go below really, and then a couple of legs back maybe and retest the bottom. So there is liquidity at 80, so there's a possibility it could get down here. But there's no setups in any of this really. It's clearly just sideways. There's nothing you can do. Let's get rid of that. Excuse me. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 2-minute bathroom break. I'm just going to put that on a minute. Might be a couple. I'm not trading here anyway. I'm not picking that. It may push up. I don't know, but I'll be a couple of minutes. did I miss? Yeah, it's just... So there is a high low there. Trouble is, with all that lot there, it may just push up and then drop below. It's just too risky, all that. I mean, you've got a little bit of a box there. A couple of attempts to go low. You may get a little bit back to the EMA, but it's just too risky, all that. Because we've had this little bit of a down, we could have a couple of legs and it might just nip out the bottom. Took that higher low, double bottom, the fade back in to the range. Yeah, it depends where you got. Excuse me, it depends where you got this range. See, I kind of like the way we've touched there, and we've touched there twice and once. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's touched there 6 times now, which I kind of like. That's what concerns me, though, that it may come and trigger those. How far did it go? Yeah, see, that's probably a bit lower than that, isn't it? So if you took it, say, 1 tick above here, that's only actually gone up half a point. You may have got a point if you'd have got a limit order. I just don't like the way the EMA's facing down. We've had that quick push down, so I don't know whether we're going to have a push up, and then drop. As I say, I'm not a massive fan of picking bottoms, especially when it's a bit congested. It just puts me off even more. This is going to drop out the range. That's what I'm concerned about, because we've had that quite tight little push down there, haven't we? And it's gone a bit sideways, so it may have a couple of little pushes and then drop. So I know there is some liquidity down here, and there's also 680 orders. 45.82.5, which is around about there. So I wouldn't be shocked. You know, it is possible. We've got a leg down there sideways and another leg. So I don't know is the answer. It quite possibly will, but that to me, taking the long there, this 4 bars sat back to back, and it has triggered you, but this pulling down is making me nervous. Well, would make me nervous if I was in the trade. But there is liquidity below here. That's the thing I like about Bookmap. It keeps me out of trades. And I know there's 1,000 orders within 3/4 of a point. 45.83, which and a quarter, which is just below there. So that would keep me out of a trade. Now, whether it'll hold, but personally, let me have a look. It's around about 83, so it's here. So I think personally that's going to get stopped out. So if you took that, or you're in that trade, it only went for a point now. It may hold. And if you are in that trade, I hope it does for you. First breakout. See, I'm not convinced it's a breakout. Well, it might be a tiny one, because if you look, it's touched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's actually touched 7 times on that line, which I think is quite a lot. If it's there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not counting this if this is out the bottom. So it's about the same, really. If you take it up there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe, I don't know. I kind of like that. But that's going to try, yeah, that's why I couldn't take that, because one, it's congested, and two, so that's another reason that Bookmap helps me, because I know there's the liquidity below here. So if you took that one, I mean, even if you got in actually on the close of the bar, you may have got 3/4 of a point. So for me, it's just a bit congested. We've had this big push down, see, or reasonable push down. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 points. I hate drawing large channels. Really do it. Yeah, I'm getting more on. You're on about channels or ranges. I'm getting more on the way of drawing less. If I'm looking at people like Daniel's or Marco's charts, they a lot more the shorter stuff, and I think it can probably. I think it's all part of the journey. Sometimes maybe when you're inexperienced, you're constantly looking for other channels when I don't think you need to be. Now, if something's turned into a bigger channel, it's usually quite obvious at some point. But I think until that happens, you're much better have these smaller type channels. And that's just out of experience. I've learnt the hard way. Sometimes you get in these big channels and you have a break, you're looking for a long ear, and then it triggers you and comes down. Well, instead of a bigger channel, what you've really had is just 2 legs, and we've bounced off the top of the range. So there's a small channel down there. That looks okay for me. Whether there's a bigger one yet, I don't know. I would like it to continue down. So I've done all this before, this type of stuff before. It's too big a channel really to trade that effectively now. The channel like that may come in 2 or 3 hours, but I'm guessing this is probably going to push back in, because usually we fade this, but I don't know. We could have a leg and a leg. We have got yesterday's lows here, see, so we've hit that liquidity. Now there is some down at 80. 80 and a quarter, which is around about there, so we may have a leg and a leg. So, but yeah, experience is telling me, by learning the hard way, that the bigger channels can get you in a bit of a bother sometimes. I got mine wider, small, just like how Marco. Channel down. Where are you talking from? Up here, are you, Dean? I mean, there may start to be a channel down, but the larger channels can get you into trouble sometimes. So that may be a channel. It may be. If it continues down, it may be. But I think you're always best off, personally anyway, just to leave the bigger stuff, because they can get you into trouble. Might take a second entry short if it fits up well. So you push up like this, and maybe a few taps on here might indicate a triple. Indicate a triple test. I know there's liquidity here, and there's yesterday's lows, and this maybe could end up bouncing somewhere along the lines of that. That liquidity is at 80, so I think it's feasible that it's going to hit that. Prices do move towards these liquidity levels, and that looks to me like a leg and a leg. I nearly said a leg and a wing then. So yeah, I think it's possible. NQ took a dump. How you doing, Indy? So used to seeing the chop, I didn't take it. Yeah, it does correlate between the two, doesn't it? If something happens in the NQ, it usually follows. It happens a lot, that does. Same with sort of Bitcoin, really, isn't it? Bitcoin jumps, everything jumps. I don't even know why people trade other charts. You just do what Bitcoin does, because Bitcoin pumps, everything pumps. Bitcoin drops, everything drops. You whip a chart up, when you see a drop Bitcoin, it's almost identical. So So for now, we've had this channel, we've had a break and a new low. So if we pull up a bit and then continue down, that's when I may draw the bigger channel. In fact, have we got anything from Mac yet? Let's have a look. Yes. See what looking chart Mac's got for us. I'm guessing he'll have something similar, I'm guessing. Yeah, you're right about that range. He's got his starting there with that one breakout. So let's have a look at that. So let's have a look. So he's got his like that. With that one breakout. Yeah, he didn't even. Yeah, I did mention I don't even know whether I really need to focus on that. That's how he's got his. Now, how's he got his bottoms? He's got his bottoms higher as well. There. Or higher. No. There. Okay, so whoever mentioned that, yeah, you're right. What I shouldn't have done really is taken into consideration this, because that was the end of a move. So if I bring this over, excuse me. Okay, we are having a leg and a leg by the looks of things. So yeah, that's how Mac's got his. Damn shame he hasn't put his trades on. I wish he would, I really do. So let's have a look. Yeah, he's got that like that. Breaking a new low. He's got his more like that actually. Breaking a new low. Yeah, small channel there. We know that one. Small channel there. Let's have a look. Actually, that's a bit lower. So, lesson learned. Is it there or is it right on the nail? Yeah, it's there actually. Yeah. God, it's tight, isn't it? That's the trouble. It's only 4 points. It makes it even bloody harder to trade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, probably 18 actually. Yeah, I take it all back. It just looked a bit odd because it was such a small range. Oh, perhaps that's the way it is then. Okay, lesson learned. Keep it tight. I usually do go for the most touches, but it's probably just because it looks so close together. So let's have a look. So now this looks like a leg and a leg. So are we just going to fade this, or are we going to come down some more? Now I know we got liquidity there. So that is a possibility. So let's see if we got a maybe a bigger channel down here. Let's just move this over a bit. What's about there? Let's see if this is larger. Yeah, see that? It's sort of a leg and a leg, isn't it? So do you go short here? That's the bit that in fact, in all fairness, we're clearly out of this. If that is it, we've tried to retest it and we haven't. So maybe we look for shorts here. If it sets up, we got that measured leg down here. We got yesterday's lows down here. We got that liquidity. Unfortunately, that's only a first entry at the moment. There's very little above. There's, well, I say very little. There is, but it's nowhere near as strong as down here. unfortunately, it's a first entry, so if we can get something else, but yeah, I take it back about that. I see it's more, I think probably because it's just such a tight range, you just naturally want to extend it to give you sort of more room, maybe. Come on, give us another little pullback. Let's keep an eye on that liquidity. Yeah, there's 481 orders there. 80 or a fraction above 80. I try and get out before these, but my experience of bookmap, it often tends to just barge straight through it by a few ticks. So come down a bit and then get back up a bit, give us a lower high. So let's go with the slightly shorter. Let's go with a slightly shorter one. I'm not going to go at the top. The top would just take us further down. So there is a possibility we could get down here. So there's reasons to go short here anyway. There's the liquidity, there's yesterday's lows, there's the possible second leg, there's possibly a bigger leg as well. So, but hopefully if we can push up again and give us something else. But unfortunately, like so many days, it gets up there and it just goes. It doesn't give us the chance. Yes, Australia might take a second entry short. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking now. If that is the range it's tight, so we're clearly out of it. We've clearly made a few efforts to push back up, and it hasn't worked, and it's just continued down. Okay, that's looking promising. If it ticks up, go on, get up. But I think it's important to get out here. I just hope it. Go on, somebody buy something. Come on, aggressive buyers, buy. So let's
order submitted
ready, just in case. That's the trouble now. So much of the time now, it doesn't even give you a second chance. I mean, even if things carry on like this, we're going to be getting in on first orders. Go on, get up there. Touch that EMA and turn down. That's looking promising. Okay, I don't even mind a few tests of this if it continues down. Touch that EMA, come on, there we go. Right, okay, interesting. Okay, one leg, two leg. Right, let me just get rid of this range at the minute. Focusing on this. There, the bigger overall. So, leg. That's okay as long as it maybe gives us a lower high. So we've had a break out of this. Made one attempt to go higher, two attempts to go higher. It's a nice measured leg. There's a load of buy orders just gone in around about 45.82.5, which is here. See, in all fairness, all that is a leg, a break, and a leg, not necessarily a channel.
Order cancelled.
ATR's come right down again. I've just noticed in this space with 2 points it's getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, it could actually move up, I think. It's possible. We've had this channel and a break and a new low. It's important to remember that. I think sometimes you draw these bigger channels, they can get you into thinking we are coming down. Now, we may well, but we may also start going up like this. Or we could have that leg down, made 2 attempts to go higher, and then, yeah, so that may be a failure. Going back in there. You're in short, are you? Ooh, I'm not so sure about that. Let me get rid of that. Might make you feel better. A leg and a leg. I don't know. This looks to me like it's going up. The picture is telling me we've had a short-term trend channel. We've had a break in a new low. So I'd say it's going higher, personally. I hope I'm wrong, mate. That looks like a failure to me. Second entry short. Trap some shorts in there. This looks like it's going up to me. I hope I'm wrong for you, bud. Come on, come bearish. Now, what I will say is if you look on Bookmap around about here, there's been a massive buy orders gone in. 600 odd orders. I think this is going up. See, I'd go long here, but it's just, I don't know. In fact, you know what? I'm going to toggle off and just trade one of my accounts.
Order submitted.
Let's see if it'll get us on a limit order. Come on. Go on, get me on the failure. Come on, maybe back to here. Come on, get me. I'm just trading the one account, so I'm not
Order
running the risk
filled.
anymore. Let's put that there. Let's, what do we go for? 475. Just going to go for a 1.5. We'll see. Took the higher low on the NQ. That one there. Yeah, that's what I took. I might just go for a point here up to the bottom. Let's have a look. That's a point, isn't it? We'll see. It's only a 1.75 risk, so it's not massive. Yeah, I got a bit mixed feelings about this. See, that's the second entry, so that's the third entry, isn't it? I dare say there may be some traders trapped there, so if that can push out above here, I think I'm okay. We'll see. When that came down, I thought I'm done for. But see, when something seems a little bit risky, I like it, but seems a little bit risky, I'll just toggle off the rest of my accounts and just trade on one. I don't mind making $100 on one of my accounts on a day like this. We'll see. Okay, we got a touch. It does seem like it's working in there, so fingers crossed. If we can get above there, there may be some shorts trapped there. So it's sort of a leg in a leg. It's a bit higher than another leg, but we'll see. I'm just going for a point. I'm not prepared to trade all my accounts on it because it's a funny old day and I'm not filled with lots of confidence today, in all fairness. But the way that's working up, I think I'm all right for a point. You're in on 44.50, are you? Yeah, you're a tick below me. If we can get above here, there may be some shorts there. I'm only going to go for a point. In fact, just thinking, is there a triple test there to come down? Once, twice. Well, I'm just wondering if there's a triple test. Oh, it's making me nervous now. If it breaks above there, I think we're okay. Once, no, it's only twice really, isn't it? I think we're okay. That's a bit lower than it needs to be. If we can get above here, I think we're okay for a point. That's all I'm taking there. That's all I'm prepared to risk. Just checking there's no triple test here. We've hit it once. We've come back twice. I don't think this is a triple test. When it's doing this, usually then it'll push, but fingers crossed, eh? Okay, another tick, and I think we're okay. Oh, I don't like that. Just wondering if this is a triple test. No, let's leave it. Let's not get spooked. Sometimes it'll do that to spook you. Once, twice. Let's get out for break even. I've just all of a sudden not like this anymore. Oh well, too late now. It's trigger below there. Let's see what happens. Just trying to think if it's a triple test. Once, twice. I don't think it is. I I mean, I've moved that back up because if it triggers that and moves above there, it'll hit that anyway, I think. It's testing there, right? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, but we'll see. Let me just drag that out a touch. I'm only trading on one account. It's a 0.5 risk, so I'm not really overly concerned. I mean, it's certainly working up in here, isn't it? Just thinking if it's a triple test once, that's twice to me, but we'll see.
Stop filled.
Yeah, oh, that's a shame. Oh, well, that's the trouble on days like this. It can be. I thought we're working up there. I'm going to retest these lows here. What am I down? 150 in the one account. I don't mind that. So it went up. I was on a couple of ticks off it, really. I was just taking a point, so yeah, that's a shame. Oh well. God, look at that watch. Now it'll go up. Draw a horizontal line from the session open. I've tried this. I'm still not a fan of it. No, from the open. About horizontal. You mean that? You're about that, are you? Horizontal line. I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. Horizontal line from session open. There's one there. So we had a channel there, break. It started to go up. That's the trouble at the moment. It's just so unpredictable. Sometimes I'll move it a tick, actually. I didn't in that case, but 458 is cash open. It doesn't mean much to me, that. No. Horizontal, from session open. Right, okay, from 230. It's about here, isn't it? So that. Come on, show me where you are. Does it show me? Oh, there we go. Let's have a look. From session open, so we opened here. Let's have a look. Okay. Hold on a minute, that's not 230, is it? What am I bloody doing? Come on, get a grip. I'll be there. 230. Session open. We open there, pushed up. 230. That doesn't make much sense, that, bud. Doesn't make much sense, that. Chris R UK. Yeah, I have, bud. That's it there. Hold on, it's moved again. What the hell is going on? There. Okay. Doesn't mean it's gonna. It hasn't hit it, is it? So I don't know. It's just, yeah. There's so many different reasons you could that things don't work. What I will say, it's probably a bit too far from the EMA. In all fairness. Yeah, I can't see a bigger downtrend. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, that. Okay, let's toggle them back on. 32. Let's just check the working.
Order submitted.
Okay.
Order cancelled.
Okay, channel break, new high. Let's have a look. Yeah, see, if that had a push right up into there, you'd have thought it's just an uptrend. But you just don't know, do you? See what happens here. there's a higher low in the range. I don't know. It's just too choppy for me. In all fairness, that was I usually take that type of trade. Well, that one a bit. It was a failure I took. I usually take that one a bit closer to the EMA. So still doesn't look bullish. It's just a lot of chop in it. Can I say these conditions just keep getting harder and harder? So, in fact, you know what? This could be a triple test. Look at that. Once, twice, three times. Push down. Once, twice, three times. Oof. So if you took a triple test there, once, twice, three, that you could say that's a triple test. So you pull down, we clicked up once, twice, three times. The trouble is, the way that's, I don't know, would you want to go short there? Anybody in that trade? Anybody in that triple test? You're long again at 84.50. Yeah, to be fair, I got no idea. I mean, what I will say is we've pushed down. We've tried to go high once, tried to go twice. We've made a triple test. But if you're in that trade, it's trying to push up, isn't it? Could be a leg and a leg. Who knows? Maybe an order above here may stop out some shorts, maybe. I don't know. Trouble is, it could trigger you. Just push up to the bottoms here and then I got no idea. So maybe they are trying to grab liquidity above the triple test to push down. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it is a triple test, isn't it? The stronger liquidity is down at 80. So if it ticks up there and then drops down quickly, then that may be, I don't know, target 56. In fact, you know what? I'm going to toggle off the rest of my accounts and just trade this one. I'm not prepared to risk any more on a day like this. It's just conditions are tough at the moment. I'd rather just lose one trade than 5 in a row. It's just chopping it. Yeah, I'm trading my 2 contracts, but I'm only trading one of my PAs instead of the 5 of them. It's just not worth it. Fortunately, that one was it's just trading one account. They're all toggled off these, so I'm just trading that one PA account. I'm not risking them all in markets like this. See what happens when it breaks above there. Okay, so it's ticked above there. Now let's see what happens. Good day for pelvic floor muscles. It goes past the green line, you're going long, are you? Trouble is, you've had this channel break, new high from this channel. It's just not very clear, is it? There's liquidity at 87. Does look like it's trying to push higher. So if you took that triple test, it triggered you and stopped you out, unfortunately. It didn't look like a terrible trade. When I spotted that, I thought, okay, so we've pushed down. We've come once, twice, 3 times. You'd think we'd come down, but it's not the case, is it? So the markets are just unpredictable. So if you take that, that's only going to take you up to here. See, it's closed just on that line. So NQ is easy to trade today. Yeah, probably right, mate. What time frame are you using on the NQ? What time frame are you using, Bob? I've got my 10,000 tick chart up here. I've just knocked it over to the NQ. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened. You've got me back, Chris. Going. Go on. No sound. There we go. You missed me, did you? I'm back. Probably going to take you 2 minutes to find out. I got this mega fast broadband on Monday anyway, so 900 megabits per second, so I can change on YouTube to low latency, ultra low latency. There should be 2 second maximum. So after the green line, yeah, I can't see an entry though. That's the trouble. You know, I'm tempted to come back later actually when it's like this. How long have I been going? 2.25 hours. Yeah, I'm going to knock on the head, I think, guys. I'm not liking this price action a bit. I'm going to come back a bit later, I think, when things sort themselves out a little bit. I've been going 2 hours, 2.25 hours. That's enough for today, I think. Just horrible listening it, and then just up, down. I thought that was going to be okay, actually. It did what I expected to do. Unfortunately, I didn't envisage the break that soon, but there you go. So I did see the triple test. That kind of, I kind of like that, and then obviously up it went, but so I don't think it was intended to come down by the way that triggered and pushed up. Otherwise, that triple test would have been part of the down move and then a few temps higher, and there we go. But that's it for today, folks. I'll be back here again tomorrow. I'm going to come back later this evening and just see if things are a little bit any better. But I'm only down $150 on my one account, so I'll mark me trade up later and maybe post it as a thumbnail or something like that if things change, if I manage to get anything else. But it's just horrible, this. So have a great day. Although I think you're probably not going to be, but if you do take anything, good luck. I hope things work out all right for you. But I'm going to come back a bit later. So have a great day, folks. Good luck. Stay safe as always, and I'll be